This is Ken Ferry with this week's edition of Boots in the Field. Harvest is moving along at a nice pace again, and end of the plot season is in sight. I think we might be able to finish next week or the week after. We are in the process already of starting to analyze and process the data that we've collected so far. And one of them I've been working on this week is the amount of fixed flex eared plots that we put out that you guys helped us with the populations varying from, let's say, 36 to as low as 21. And looking through yield data at this point, I see some real interesting trends that are showing up, meaning that the hybrids that are showing up as a flex-eared hybrid or a fixed-eared hybrid in one plot are doing the same in multiple plots. So I think we're going to have some pretty interesting data to look at from that standpoint, and definitely telling me we need to widen that plot regimen out. Give you guys the answer. Is it really a fixed or flexed or semi-flexed eared itself? We're also probably not next week, but the week after, we'll be processing all the ears of corn you guys harvested for us, and that'll be a situation where we count the kernels on the cob, and then we weigh the cob or the ear. We'll shell it, weigh the grain, weigh the cob, separate it out, and we'll see where the fixed and flexed ears are flexing, whether it's in kernel count, kernel depth, that type of thing. Now, this is going to be a big process when we start it. We got the back room full of ears now, but anybody that still has ears out to be collected or to be brought back to the office, I'd appreciate it if you got them into us. So when we set up the sheller to do all this, it's a one-time deal. It's going to probably take a day or maybe two to get that process done, and I'd like to have it done one time only, not have to do it multiple times. So if you're sitting on ears of corn from your fixed flex plot, let's get them moved to the office itself. But it looks like some pretty interesting stuff there. Soil testing is going along at a good pace. The office crew tells me you guys are doing a good job of calling in the fields as soon as they're combined, and that really helps everybody. We're getting 5-day turnarounds on these soil tests so we can keep these chisel plows running. Guys, do remember, in your corn on corn, we have to sample it this fall or next spring before the nitrogen goes on. Now, if you're putting anhydrous on this fall, we can sample between the anhydrous tracks. But if you put it on and work it before we get there, we don't know where those tracks are, and we'll end up with the pH being screwed up on the soil test. So on your corn-on-corn acres, we need to either get it done this fall, or if you're going to be putting weed and feed on next spring, we need to get done in the spring before that nitrogen goes on. So make sure you keep your tabs on that and get your corn-on-corn fields ordered if you don't have them in there itself. Now, as we're processing these yield maps, of course, we need the yield map data. As soon as your guys are done, let's get that yield map data into the office so we can start that process. The faster you guys get the yield map data into us, the quicker we can get somebody on building those maps and getting them back to you. And it's a situation where we'd like to finish that up sooner than later. Anhydrous is going on. Guys are having pretty good luck getting it sealed, and we're even to the point where we're starting to build some pretty good strips. So I think if this weather holds for us, we can maybe get some of these strips built before we freeze up. With that, guys, let's finish this thing up and put it to bed. Well, I'll talk to you next week.